I'm Paul.
And I'm Ming.
And welcome to Skip the Rulebook's Kickstarter preview. Today we find out just how much attention we paid in Potions class with the Valley of Alchemists.
You must carefully choose a range of magical ingredients and brew them into the most powerful concoction in order to be named the greatest alchemist of them all.
There's a Philosopher's Stone when you need one. Let's skip the rulebook. The Valley of Alchemists is set in a world in which your skill with potion craft is key. Throughout the game, you'll be brewing ever more elaborate elixirs in order to gain experience points. At the end of the game, the player with the most experience is the winner. Your player board represents your alchemist lab, with your recipes, potion racks, and of course your cauldron. This also allows you to keep track of your skill with the various different ingredients as you progress in your trade. During the game, you'll need to balance your available resources in order to produce the basis of your recipes, known as decoctions. Each player will have a limited pool of each of the different resources from which to collect. The ingredients must be mixed in the correct proportions in order to produce your decoctions.
Once you have a healthy set of magical liquids, you can start to produce your elixirs. Each game will have a randomly selected set of elixirs that you can choose to produce by stirring together the right amounts of the correct decoctions. Each one produced will allow you to not only gain experience, but also increase your skills with your ingredients, allowing you to create more elaborate elixirs to wow the crowds. Once your elixirs are brewed, they need to be kept safe within your alchemist chest before being sold off to your prospective magical customers. The placement of the cards within your chest is a skill in itself, as the right combination of elixirs can have huge bonuses towards your experience.
Each turn, players must choose 2 actions to perform. The first, and potentially most vital, is collecting the correct ingredients. You may only harvest a number of ingredients equal to your skill level with that ingredient, but for a single action, you may collect 2 different coloured ingredients. Once these are collected, you place them on your cauldron to simmer away. Sadly, a load of herbs in a pot do not a magical stew make. We must first turn them into something a little bit more palatable before we can create our elixirs. Brewing decoctions can be thought of as making the chicken stock of the magical world. By using one action, you can combine together the correct number of ingredients in order to produce one decoction. The ingredients are discarded, and your selected decoction placed onto your board.
After a couple of turns, you'll find yourself with a veritable wine rack full of useful decoctions. These can then be combined to produce the magical elixirs that are our crowd pleasers. To do this, you select your desired elixir from the pool in the centre of the table and discard a number of decoctions of the correct colour as indicated by the vials on the card. Brewing this elixir will gain you a bit of skill as you work out what glitter to sprinkle on which pixie in order to produce the best effects. Each time you create an elixir, your skill with each ingredient will increase by the amount shown on the card. The elixir is then placed snugly inside my chest.
Before long, you'll have worked your way through a plethora of magical mixology and amassed a number of elixirs. These bottles are worth points at the end of the game, based on the number on the card, so the more the better. There is, however, an even better way of leveraging these elixirs into experience. By selling elixirs to a willing punter, you can gain a whole host of bonus experience. To sell some of your elixirs, you must have a row of 3, either horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. When you sell them, you gain not only the points on the card, but also bonus points if all 3 cards share the same colour, bottle shape, or level. These then manifest as points tokens that you can hoard for later.
Since the arrangement of your elixirs in your chest is so vital to winning the game, you need to plan your strategy ahead of time, as although you can move your elixirs later, doing so will cost you a valuable action. You do, however, have a number of special action tokens which you can use to transform your elixirs on the fly, by working your magic to swap colours, bottles, and even decoctions. These are one-shots, so should be used with care. Once you hit the end of the game by exhausting the elixir cards, you tally up your score. This includes any sold elixir cards still within your chest, any bonus points earned during the game, and also any unused decoctions. The winner is the player with the highest combined experience.
The Valley of Alchemists is a nice, light-hearted yet thoughtful Eurogame. Each element can be considered and planned ahead of time, and it's immensely satisfying when a series of plans fall into place and you cash in some huge experience bonus due to synergies you've been working towards. This means that although each mechanic is simple in and of itself, being able to see the bigger picture and planning a good number of moves ahead is definitely rewarded. Although this is not necessarily to everyone's tastes, it's something I definitely look for in games I choose to play. I find nothing more annoying than losing a game due to some random element that you had no control over.
In the prototype version of the game that we played, there was no direct interaction with other players outside of hampering their plans by choosing the right elixirs. This is something that potentially some gamers would welcome. It also opens up the possibility of solitaire-style playthroughs, which are becoming increasingly popular. The Kickstarter will land with additional elements to create a more competitive game. Everything from shared goals in Dragon Contest to direct interaction with companions and imps.
The Valley of Alchemists Kickstarter goes live on the 17th of October. So if a dash of unfettered strategy, some solid mechanics and a sprinkling of artistic flair appeals to your gamer sensibilities, then click the link below to pledge. That's it from us at Skip the Rulebook. If you enjoyed this video, please press like. If you want to hear more from Skip the Rulebook, press subscribe. You can also find out more about us on Facebook, Twitter and skiptherulebook.com.
Join us next time for your chance to jump into that brand new board game of yours without doing any of the tedious rule reading.
See you later.